Assalamu alaikum. Artificial intelligence evolution has not only transformed the global landscape, but it also has a positive impact on the productivity and solving complex problems. I am Mariam Imtiaz Malik from Faculty of Engineering and Computing, Namal Islamabad. I welcome you all in today's podcast session on the landscape of artificial intelligence in education. In recent years, artificial intelligence has been transforming in several sectors, and education is no exception. From personalized learning experiences to administrative efficiencies, artificial intelligence has the potential to revolutionize how we teach and how we learn. To discuss the aspects of artificial intelligence, its benefits, challenges, and ethical concerns, today we are honored to have a distinguished expert with us, Dr. Munira Bano. She is a senior research scientist at CISRO Data 61 Australia. She is leading the requirement engineering for Responsible AI team. She is also involved in projects focused on diversity and inclusion in artificial intelligence. She has been the recipient of multiple prestigious awards, including Superstar of STEM, Under 40 Most Influential Asian Australian Leader. I am honored to welcome you, ma'am, in today's podcast session.
Thank you so much, and I'm really honored to be here today with you as well.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So, Dr. Munira Bano, you are already working with the Responsible AI team. Can you highlight the effects of responsible AI, especially in education sector?
So, the very word responsible AI tells you that, whatever development or deployment, usage of artificial intelligence we want to see has to be responsible. So that responsible, I think, already had a very intuitive connotation or meaning to it. When it comes to education sector, the overall governance falls into three categories. One is the students teaching and learning. Then there is research and administration part of the university. So within all these three aspects, wherever you want to teach the students about AI, or you want them to upskill to be ready in future for the jobs that will require AI as a integral component. So they need to know what it means to use AI in a responsible manner. So all these ethical guidelines and the diversity inclusion principles and the resources that we are providing education to the students is an integral part of it. The second, research. Of course, we need more resources for the practitioners in industry to know what it would mean to how to develop a responsible AI. So all the resources, that operationalization, industry collaboration within research, all of that is important. And the final one, admin, if the university wants to use AI solution for, whether becoming part of curricula or, in any other aspects of running the university. So all of that they need to know under what ethical and responsible AI frameworks that needs to fall.
Considering the effect of artificial intelligence in education landscape, what is your opinion on whether the use of artificial intelligence trends is useful enough in an educational settings?
To me, like, AI is a very broad umbrella term. So we have to be very specific with when we refer to AI trends, exactly what it is that we are meaning. Within education, I already mentioned there, university or academic governance has multiple layers where you want to apply. So the trends, and you have to see the context and the vision. Not every place where you think that this is something that we can automate with AI, or we can put AI solutions. That's not necessary. So very contextualized and also very specific to the needs, whether we need to put the AI solutions there. There has been some discussions around that we can have a personalized tutor who is an AI, and all the students may or may not need a future teacher. So there are some aspects of communication and human interaction, and that is very integral part of the university environment. So where we want to deploy the AI solutions, that will be a need-based analysis there is needed. Otherwise, I think how you want to achieve the benefits while you can, minimize the risks and harms, I think that would be a better approach to it.
So it's mean there are diverse applications of artificial intelligence in educational settings.
Yes. We want to use it for data analytics, enhance students' performance, or you want to automate certain administrative tasks. examination. It will depend. And at the moment, we have very, task-specific AIs.
Mhm.
So where in academia you are deploying those solutions, that will depend on the need.
Yes, yes. So if we talk about the freelancing community, do you really think artificial intelligence is promising for the freelancing community as well?
Look, it provides job opportunities as well. People do talk about AI taking over the jobs, but at the same time, I always believe that, it's a shift. It's not a takeover.
Mhm.
So if the students, they do have the capabilities to, know, they have the skills, they can create jobs for their own selves. So it will benefit and empower students in a lot of ways. A lot of these companies that think about it, Uber does not own a single car, and they're the biggest taxi, service in the world.
Yes.
Airbnb does not own a single property, and they,
Yes.
they are very high in the market compared to other hotels and all of them. So there will be innovative ideas if they have the empowering skills of AI. It would be easier for them to implement their solution without needing a lot of resources. And I think today in the conference, in one of the keynote, it was mentioned about you don't need too many people now to, in your team to have a startup. You can, as long as you know the prompt engineering, you can generate the code and, have
Yes.
your own startup. So it will definitely be a tool of empowerment for a lot of people who have the brains, who have the capabilities, but they just needed an opportunity.
Yeah, great. So the use of artificial intelligence and the development of artificial intelligence are two major streams in the educational settings. Do you really think our educational settings are working on the both models in the true sense?
It will, depending on, what do you mean by development of an AI, what specific area it's being developed. The context is always very important. So the model about, those who are developing it and those who are using it. So this is something that I presented today in my framework of diversity inclusion, where humans who have an impact on AI and who get impacted by the AI. So they all have to have a representation in the overall model of the AI ecosystem. So far to me, it looks like, yes, these are the two very important critical aspects of the human side of that whole framework. And students being, this is something we say that they will be the ones who have to drive the innovation in the future, as well as they will be the users as well. They are currently users as well. So for them knowing, the skills, the responsible use of AI. So this other stuff that students have to not just be skilled, but also they should be equipped with the precautions. That is also necessary.
Great, great. So I think so with the usage of AI, we need to also work on its development also.
Yeah, absolutely. For Pakistan, I think there is a need for the localized, especially when it comes to responsible AI and ethical AI, the localized solutions where the ethical models that are applicable back to our society, rather than, importing the models from somewhere else, which were developed in another cultural context. So that part about the development is quite necessary for the local community.
Oh, great. There is a need to all stakeholders work together for the development of artificial intelligence. I think
all relevant stakeholders have to be there.
Yes. Okay. If you talk about the future of artificial intelligence, how can the future of artificial intelligence shape the teaching pedagogies in the educational sectors?
Look, when generative AI was introduced, especially ChatGPT, there were waves within the academia about, how the students are using it. A lot of universities were immediately trying to ban it because there was lack of, I would say, information around awareness or information around its use and what implications that will have on the future. So already that, evolution and change is there. We have seen it in the last 1 year. A lot of universities then embraced it as a part of their curriculum design, that, ask the student, go and use the ChatGPT, but design the activities in such a way that the students' critical thinking will not decline. Because in future, if you look at the report of the World Economic Forum from last year about which of the jobs will be taken over, a lot of anything that can be automated will be automated eventually. And, the data entry or the simple jobs may not exist in future. But what will exist is those who have the critical thinking, those who can innovate, those who can come up with the new ideas to solve the problem. So we have to sharpen those skills a lot more in students. But that will be the future trend, that because a lot of things will be done by AI, but then who knows how to use these AI to get more out of it. And there will be further new challenges that will appear. So those students have to be equipped and they need to know how to
so I think problems. We need to redesign the curriculum also.
The curriculum will have to focus more on the problem solving part of it, that, students have to be more proactive in those areas. These simple skills, they can go and learn. All these, resources will be available, the knowledge will be available, but how to apply it in certain contexts? There may be some unknown new context that will appear. How will they apply this knowledge? So this application of the existing knowledge in any scenario that may or may not appear in future, that will be, I think, the focus of the education.
Great. So is there any defined ethical, legal constraints for using the artificial intelligence if we talk about in education sector?
I think UNESCO has, or maybe United Nations did provide some initial guidelines on what will, for generative AI, they were coming up with some guidelines on how to apply them in educational scenarios, especially in schools. As far as I know, there is not a legal framework in those sense. The universities themselves were deciding whether they would let the students use these AI solutions or not. I don't know about Pakistan, but also in Australia, I don't think there is anything from the government.
Okay.
But it comes down to the university sector themselves, that how would they want to evolve themselves and embrace the technology and then move forward, or, try to still do some risk assessment on how these will be embedded in the part of course development.
Okay, great. So let me conclude this podcast session. It's clear from the overall discussion that artificial intelligence stands as a pivotal force in shaping the future of education. However, with this transformative power, there comes a responsibility to navigate the ethical, legal, and societal impact of the artificial intelligence in education. We must integrate artificial intelligence into education by ensuring that we are increasing rather than reduces the overall human experience on education and teaching as well. At the end, I would like to thank you to my expert, Dr. Munira Bano, for sparing her time and sharing her knowledge. Let's continue to navigate this exciting journey with the commitment to use artificial intelligence as a force for positive change in education and beyond. Thank you all and goodbye.